This video is sponsored by PokemonStore.com, the best place to get yourself some TCG code cards. They are compatible with TCG Live, and you can of course get everything on the website for 5% off using the coupon code ZapdosTCG. This video is also sponsored by CARDMARKET.com. This is a European platform where you're able to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. I personally use it every single day, and you can do it as well. And you can use the referral name ZapdosTCG to help support the channel. This video is also sponsored by PLAYMAT.com. This is a platform where you're able to, of course, create your own custom playmat. They have, of course, capabilities to ship worldwide, and you can get 10% off by clicking the link down below. So definitely check it out. Last but not least is Dragon Shield, the best brand to protect your beautiful cards. You can of course there's links down below for US and European people, and you can of course get your best quality sleeves available, as well as deck boxes and binders. Thanks so much for sticking around with the commercials. I hope you enjoyed today's upload. If you do, be sure to let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button, and let's get this video going. Sup YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here, and welcome back to our TCG video on my channel. On this channel you get daily Pokemon TCG uploads, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 best cards from Obsidian Flames, in my opinion. I have tested a little bit with a couple of these cards. I already made some videos about these specific top cards, so be sure to check out these videos already to see all these cards in action. So it is my personal opinion, so if your opinion is different, feel free to let me know down below in the comments so we can get a discussion started. So without further ado, if you're enjoying videos like these, be sure to let me know, like rocking the hell out of the like button, and let's just get it started with number 10. And number 10 is going to be this little guy, Cleffa. Cleffa has been a very iconic Pokemon in the trading card game ever since the Neo days, and even her Gold Soul Silver saw a little bit of Cleffa. Cleffa has the Grasping Draw cards until you have 7 cards in hand for 0 energies. Also comes back with free retreat. I know what you're gonna say, 30 HP is low, and Lost Box with something like a Lost Mine from Sableye will eat you up alive, but if you're not up against a Lost Box deck, you're gonna be very eager to see that Cleffa can draw you out of tight situations. Definitely in the opening phase of the game, sometimes you Ultra Ball, you battle VIP Pass, you attach of the turn, you bench something, your hand is going pretty thin, you're not able to play a supporter on your very first turn of the game. If you're going first, you might as well just retreat into Cleffa with a switch card or whatever, and just go for the Grasping Draw to draw yourself back up again. I know the opponent might be playing Iono, but as mentioned, you're going to be playing a lot of cards from your hand turn 1, and let's say your hand is almost like 2 or 3 cards, you can draw back up to 7. If they Iono you, then you still get 6 fresh cards. So I think it's an early game fantastic card, and I wanted to mention here on the number 10 spot. Moving forward is kind of like a duo I want to mention here, and that is going to be none other than, that we can see here, it is a psychic type. It is going to be Lunatone. That's right, Lunatone is again good in TCG. Who remembers the Lunatone Solrock days of Pokemon Go, right? Well, this time around it comes with New Moon. If you have Solrock in play, prevents all effects of any stadiums done to your Pokemon in play. Not only is this insane as a stadium counter, you can just make sure, oh, Path to the Peak doesn't affect me in the slightest. Where could this be good? Well, let's say you're playing Gardevoir EX and play a Lunatone and a Solrock on your bench. I know your bench size becomes very low, but then you might even be playing Path to the Peak in your Gardevoir list because it doesn't affect you in the slightest. Any other effects of stadiums also don't affect to your Pokemon in play, which is going to be very impactful. So you're going to be, of course, having a stadium wall, one-sided stadium wall for yourself if you play Lunatone and Solrock. I know you are going to have to be sacrificing 2 of these bench slots to your Pokemon, but I think Lunatone might see itself in a successful deck one day, because shutting off the effects of stadiums can be very, very good. Moving forward, we're going to be talking about Toadscruel EX. Toadscruel EX is a Grass EX, and this time around it is going to be some sort of a semi Lost Box counter, because it comes back with the protective mycelium, yeah. Prevent all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to all of your Pokemon that have energies attached. Pretty similar to Espeon, VMAX back before it. That's actually going to be great because Lost Mine is in effect, so that means all your Pokemon with energies are safe from Lost Mine. Also, it comes back with Colony Crush. It actually slaps 80 damage plus 40 more for each of your bench Pokemon that has a grass energy attached. So maybe you can play something like a Cherem deck with a lot of grass type attackers. You could even play some Snorlax in it, and all of your Pokemon are protected by Lost Mine. Maybe grass can make its way back in the format. Also, now that I think about it, their darkness Pokemon like Dark Charizard EX for instance is weak to grass. So maybe there's something going here with the Toadscruel EX sliding its way on the number 8 spot. Now, we're going to number 7, and that is going to be a supporter card. The supporter I'm going to be talking about here is going to be Geeta. This is a holographic in the set, by the way, so a little bit harder to get your hands on, but Geeta is actually great. It searches your deck for 2 basic energy cards and attaches them to one of your Pokemon. So pretty much Mirage Gate, and you can actually choose 2 of the same types as well if you want to. So you can accelerate 2 energies straight from the get-go, but then your turn you cannot attack. This could actually be great in some sort of controlling archetypes that need some energies to do some disruptive things. Like for instance, they have abilities and then next turn they can do something with those attacks. Also, you can set up a very powerful Pokemon that can't attack. It needs a lot of energies, for instance. Let's say it needs like 3 energies. You can use this on the very first turn because you're not attacking on the very first turn regardless. You can search this out with Lumineon and Boom or even Pokegear, depends on your build. You can set up something powerful, something that is not going to go down in one shot. If you're then able to evolve into something big like a VMAX and then attach of the turn, you have, of course, an instant Pokemon that can get energies. This actually might see some play. It actually states during this turn your Pokemon can't attack, but you can set something up for additional turns. As mentioned, on the very first of the turn of the game, you cannot even attack in the first place, so might as well play some Geetas and try it out in some very crazy decks. Moving forward is 6, Pokemon League Headquarters. I think this is a strong card, also some sort of a lost box counter itself. Attacks used by any basic Pokemon in play cost 1 colorless energy more. So Sableye with Lost Mine now needs 2 energies, so that is going to be very awkward for sure. Any other big basic decks, think about Miraidon, will need an additional energy to attack. So this is a very great stadium, but as mentioned, if you're in a stadium war, they can simply overlap it. But as we all know, with cards like Temple of Sinnoh also slowing some Pokemon down from attacking, stadium cards like these are historically good, definitely combined with disruption cards like Iono or Roxanne. So Pokemon League Headquarters will see some play sliding in here on the number 6 spot. Then another stadium is Town Store. Town Store actually is a department store, and once during each player's turn, that player may search a deck for a tool card and put it in hand. Why do I put this so highly? Just because this set actually doesn't contain that many competitive cards. Town Store is actually interesting because you can fetch out something like Forest Sealstone or even Sky Sealstone. Gardevoir always had the issue to find Sky Sealstone, and they actually just want to have a stadium bump just to bump Path to the Peak. While now you can place Town Store, so you can fetch Forest Sealstone or Sky Sealstone depending on which version you're playing, and that's very good. Also in Mew VMAX, you can be playing Town Store to fetch Forest Sealstone, so not only do you have a path bump, you also have an additional way to fetch Forest Sealstone. You can also fetch out Choice Belt, you can fetch out any other card like Cleansing Gloves or anything, so getting tool cards from the deck has never been easier with Town Store. Moving forward is going to be another EX card. It is going to be Glimmora EX. This is a very disruptive Pokemon, and it reminds me so much of Parallel City. Who remembers Parallel City? Let me know in the comments down below. But as you see here, Dustfield, as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent can't have more than 3 bench Pokemon. If they have 4 or more bench Pokemon, they discard bench Pokemon until they have 3 Pokemon on their bench. If more than one effect changes the number of bench Pokemon, use the smaller number. So pretty much you have Parallel City. Bam! The opponent can only have 3 Pokemon on their bench. Very powerful because you're gonna be getting rid of a lot of Pokemon on their bench. Combine that with, like, imagine you're playing Glimmora, put that in the active position, and then follow it up by retreating that Glimmora and using Radiant Greninja to snipe. So you can disrupt entire boards. I know it's going to be a clunky way, but Glimmora, I would be thinking like Crushing Hammers. You can be also using some disruptive cards here and there, so the opponent cannot play the game, and their bench is lowered down immensely. So this actually will see play because not only do you hit Arceus V-Star for weakness, you even one-shot it, which is awesome. You also slap 140 and poison Pokemon. The attack damage output is not impressive, let me make that clear, but the effect is very powerful, and historically in the game, Yeah, lowering the opponent's bench size has been good. Think about Collapse Stadium, think about Parallel City, think about there were way better like bench discard options out there, so that's nice. Okay, moving forward, number 3, we're going into the top 3. There's not too many great cards in this set, but let us still talk about the one, the only powerful Tyranitar EX with a whopping 340 HP. Reminds me back of the days of Eternatus VMAX. You are a lightning type, so you hit weakness against Palkia, you hit weakness against Lugia, and you don't need that many energies to attack. Its first attack slaps 120 damage, so straight from the get-go, if you just whiffed out an attach turn 1, turn 2, Candy Tyranitar, you easily slap 120, which is very good. You do discard the top 2 cards of your deck in the process. Its second attack, Lightning Rampage, slaps 150 damage, and if your bench Pokemon have any damage counters on them, this attack does 100 more damage. You could be playing something like, yeah, there are cards out there that damage your own bench Pokemon, like for instance the Pidgeot Bog, for instance, or you can just slap it down, you get damage instantly. There are also other cards in the format that allow you to have damage counters. You can also use Roaring Resolve Lucario, for instance, to put damage onto yourself that way. So if your Pokemon have damage, 250 for 2 energies is very good. You can combine it with Choice Belt to hit 280, the number for V-Star Pokemon. And for other Pokemon, you can also maybe add a Cheryl or 2 to just heal off this Tyranitar because it has a monstrous 340 HP. So a very interesting Pokemon. As you see, there are Tera Pokemon here, and all the Tera Pokemon cannot get damaged on the bench. So yeah, you're safe from bench snipes. Then the top 2, these are undoubtedly the best cards of the set. Let us be making that perfectly clear. Number 2 goes to... We're going to the darkness types, that's right, it is going to be Charizard EX. 330 HP. This is a monstrosity of a card. It is weak to grass, and as we all know, grass is not seeing a whole lot of play right now. That could change if Charizard becomes too popular, but as of right now, sliding its way into the meta as a new archetype, being weak to grass is pretty good. Its Infernal Rain actually allows you to accelerate 3 basic fire energies straight from the deck to your Pokemon in any way that you like. So you can set up an Arceus out of nowhere, you can set up other fire attackers. It is very nice. You can accelerate to any Pokemon of your being. It's going to be fantastic. And its damage output is actually very great. 180 for 2 energies, but for every prize card the opponent has taken, you're slapping an additional 30 damage. Meaning that if the opponent has, for example, taken 4 prize cards, you're slapping 300. Add in some damage modifiers, for instance, like a Choice Belt, you'll be one-shotting VMAXs as well. So on the mid-game, that is Charizard EX for ya. Very easy to set it up. The only thing you need is Candy Charizard, and you can get going straight from the second turn. And you also hit weakness against Gardevoir EX and Mew VMAX, which are very popular archetypes in the metagame. So yeah, Charizard slaying its way on the number 2 spot. But which card might be better than all the things I've just mentioned? Well, glad you asked. It is going to be the one, the only Pidgeot EX. I think Pidgeot EX belongs on the number 1 spot just for its versatility. Comes back with free retreat. If you candy into Pidgeot for the rest of the game, every single turn, you can search out any card you want. How many times do you say like, oh, now I need boss for game? Well, Pidgeot provides boss for game. Now you say like, ah, I just got Ionet into a bad hand. Well, quick search, you get research. So Pidgeot will be a deck if you're playing a rare candy based deck. For instance, maybe it's Gardevoir, maybe it is chien-pao with Baxcalibur. You're going to be appreciating a Pidgeot. And a lot of decks might be even playing a 2-0-2 line of Pidgeot EX combined with 3 rare candies just because that versatility of quick search is so good. As we all know, with Starbirth of Arceus V-Star, searching cards from the deck is good. And if you can do it every single turn of the game, you will of course have the combinations necessary to win games. So this is my top 10. As mentioned, no top 20. There's only 10 cards, no wording. Some honorable mentions. Let's talk about some honorable mentions right now. Vengeful Punch is an honorable mention, which is actually a very great Gardevoir counter. If your Pokemon is knocked out, put 4 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Very great to knock out Shining Arcana Gardevoir. What other honorable mentions would there be? Rever Room can get 4 tool cards attached onto it. So even though that sounds great, it's very hard to set up the metal type attackers because Metal Saucer is no longer in the format. Are there any other cards worth talking about? Probably not, because this is a rather less impactful set. There's also Vespiquen, which can slap 203 damage counter on each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that have any damage counters on it. You can combine some Hawlucha spread, you can set it up with Cherrim. Could be a fun archetype, but you can play around that, so that's why I didn't put it in the top 10. There's also the Clefable, which can, all of your Pokemon have that have Psychic Energies have no retreat cost. I don't know how good having free retreat is, but yeah, in this format, definitely because there's so many switch outs available, and Gardevoir just manually retreats and reattaches the energy, so that's why that's what I'm saying here. So, and then lastly, another honorable mention is the Decidueye EX. Once during your turn, you may use this ability, and then actually, if this Pokemon is on the bench, you can switch it to the active position. If this Pokemon is in the active position, switch it with one of your bench. So built-in switch with the Decidueye EX. So that's it, the top 10 best cards of Obsidian Flames. Let me know your favorite card down below in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in many ways. And also go check out my sponsors, the links down below. If you're looking for a playmat, you can now get 10% off today by clicking the link down below to create your own custom playmat from scratch. If you are looking for sleeves, deck boxes, etc., Dragon Shield has your back, links down below. There's PokemonStore.com if you're looking for TCG Live code cards, so you can play all these decks instantly on your mobile phone or on your PC with the TCG Live codes available at PokemonStore.com. Use the coupon code ZABLOUSTCG for a whopping 5% off, and there's CARDMARKET.com for European players to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. Use the referral name ZABLOUSTCG. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more Pokemon TCG madness. Peace!